with me a moment. We're getting things going. Hey, everybody. So, just giving everything a moment to sync up because I'm trying something new today. So, my name is Dan, otherwise known as Men Need to Be Heard, although I know for some of you that shirt is reading backwards. Just thought I would try something new today. So, I am live every Wednesday from 4 to 5:30. Normally I've been doing TikTok and YouTube, but today I decided to try something new, and I'm looking over this way because I'm doing Instagram also, though I'm using my phone for that. I use the computer for YouTube and TikTok, but I'm trying it on the phone with Instagram so I can see how it goes. I tried to experiment a couple weeks ago. It seemed to work fine. For those of you that are watching, just let me know if you see any lag or having voice issues. Basically, to kind of give you a little bit about myself, as I said, my name is Dan. I'm also known as Men Need to Be Heard. I run a podcast called Men Need to Be Heard. Shocking, I know. Where I talk about men's issues, and I have various guests on to talk about all different kinds of issues that affect men and boys. And that's why I wanted to kind of go this route today. So every once in a while, I will do a specific topic. Well, most of the time I'll do a specific topic. But today, I just wanted to keep it open and hear what you guys wanted to talk about for once. So for those of you that have never joined me live, I am someone who talks about men and boys issues, been an advocate along those lines for 27, 28 years now. Have talked extensively before I got involved with the online side of things. I was a member of several fathers and men's groups. Have worked with both TV and radio. I do co-host a radio show locally that has nothing to do with men and boys issues, although I tend to bring those issues up during it. But, you know, it's something that it's a passion of mine. And as I'm now an older man and bald, because y'all like to point out that I'm old and bald, which I take as a compliment, not an insult. But it's why I do what I do, is to help men and boys, especially the younger gentlemen. So that's who I am, what I'm about. What I like to do on these lives is have you join in the conversation. So tell me a little bit about yourself. One of the things that I talk about this every week, is I like to know where people are from. So if you're joining in, give me a shout out. Let me know city, state, if you're in the States. If you want, country, I've had people from over 100 countries join in on these lives. And I'm reading some of the comments popping in. I will get to the comments. I do interact with all of you. If you're on YouTube or TikTok, your comments will come in that way. Instagram, I'm starting to see them. They're a little bit delayed, it looks like, compared to some other ones. But I will scroll through the comments, say hi. Let me know a little bit about where you're from, because it's as I talk about every week, it's something that I find fascinating, that we can come together in a forum like this and talk as human beings. You know, there's so much division in the world, so much division in every level, whether it's between genders, countries, politics, all that crap. You know what? There's some good in the world. And one of the good things is that we can come together and chat. So a couple things about today that I wanted to do is, one, open topic. So let me know what you guys want to talk about. If there's a particular issue that you want to talk about, if you want to ask me questions, feel free. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about issues with men and boys. I open it up periodically so you can ask me somewhat personal questions within reason. You know, or if you want my opinion on various things, there's lots of stuff going on issue-wise. But I also want to do something a little fun today, which every once in a while I like to throw in. So a couple months back, it wasn't planned, but somehow we got into talking about music. I think because of the guitars behind me. People were asking me, am I a musician? I am not a professional musician. I have been in, well, not recently, but I was in bands for 30 odd years, playing primarily guitars, which is what you see behind me, but also played bass. And, so people were asking me about what was my favorite song. And I thought it'd be fun to revisit that again, but add a little wrinkle to it. So we kind of were going band song, that type of thing. So one of the things I want to hear from people is, if you don't mind sharing, let me know what your favorite song is, just for fun, and also your least favorite. I was trying to think of a way to word that to kind of make it so it wasn't too bad, but what is your favorite song and what is your least favorite song? So just kind of mark in it what your favorite and least favorite. I will give you mine down the road. As I said, I'm on till about 5:30 Eastern time. I'm on every Wednesday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. Eastern, and let's just dive in. So I'm going to just jump around, look at the various comments, and see what we got. So let me, because my Instagrammers are the first time, one thing I don't like about the Instagram is it gives me all the who's joining. So it makes it tougher to see the comments and questions. And if I miss you, I'm sorry. And if I say your name wrong, guys, don't hold it against me. James said, looking good, man. No problems. All right, so you're hearing me okay. A couple hey brothers. Guys, I'll just do a blanket. Hey, how you doing? All right. Hey, from Netherlands. So Martin from Netherlands. How you doing, buddy? Los Angeles, Zombie. Lancaster, PA. James, I'm shortening the names. Dan, what do you think about trust in general? I'd love to hear you speak on it, how you see it taking place in relationships. I'm from Toronto, Canada. That is a great question. So, when I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anyone. No, I better stop now. I'll get a copyright infringement. That's the Beatles, for those of you that don't know. I should grab the guitar and play Help. You know what? To me, this is a great question. Trust is the most important thing in a relationship. If you don't have trust, and I mean implicit trust, like yes, you do have to earn it. I will grant that. But if you can't trust the person you're with for whatever reason, in my opinion, you don't have a relationship anymore. Like I said, to me, it's the cornerstone of relationships. And I'm not just talking romantic ones. I'm talking coworker relationships, friends, family, neighbor next door, you name it. I think trust is the cornerstone, because if you can't trust someone, how do you build on that, right? How do you go from there? It's just, you'll always be in doubt about what they're saying or what they're thinking. To me, as I said, it is the cornerstone. And having been in relationships where trust did get violated, of all types of relationships, I way back, I had a coworker that I really trusted, and later I found out they were backstabbing me big time with the higher ups, and I never forgave them. I don't carry grudges per se, but I don't forget, if that makes sense. And that trust is gone. So that is a great question. I'm going to jump over to TikTok in a minute, but let me just scroll quickly on some of these. Trying to scroll, guys. Lebraco. Sorry, I'm laughing. Lebraco over on Instagram is going, hello from Idiot State, Massachusetts. I'm originally from upstate New York, so I can comment on this. No, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to get in trouble. Some more compliments. Somebody's asking, am I a self-representation? Let me get back to that one. See, I don't like this Instagram thing. I really don't. Instagram sucks as far as looking at the comments. YouTube, TikTok make it so much easier. Someone asked about representing themselves versus getting a lawyer. I'll be honest with you. And for those of you that have never watched before, I believe that in many cases, if you're willing to put in the work, and I'm talking a lot of work, ladies and gents, you can represent yourself in most instances. Okay? Couple things that I would not recommend representing yourself on. One, if there's a domestic violence allegation or a temporary restraining order is issued against you or anything along those lines. I know of guys that have successfully handled it themselves. In fact, I just interviewed one that's going to be coming up on a podcast in a couple of weeks. But generally, I would say do not represent yourself in those cases. You have too much to lose, right? Including a risk of jail time. If you are found, TRO is issued against you and it's considered quote unquote valid, and you're trying to defend yourself and they make additional allegations, you could end up in jail. I'm just saying. The other one is custody. Now, I'm not talking about basic stuff, right? Like violation of visitation. I used to handle those myself. I am not an attorney. I spent hours and hours and hours studying family law, knew that very well, and I felt comfortable handling that. But an outright custody battle, I believe you need a lawyer for. And it's not that you can't learn the law per se. It's that perfect example. You don't know when to object, right? We talked about this on the podcast I just recorded. It's fresh in my mind because I just recorded it a day or so ago. You could be in the middle of a case and the opposing attorney is putting something out there that really shouldn't be. You won't know to go, I object, Your Honor. That's, whatever the case may be. So that's the difference between a quote unquote lawyer and somebody representing themselves pro se. I don't think anyone, I'm speaking from my experience and having talked with many guys who represent themselves, I don't think anyone is really comfortable with it. And there were times I tried to object. And to be honest with you, the judge was pretty cool with me about it. He'd go, you can't object that, or that's a good one, sustained, because he knew I was representing myself. But I think in my case, he knew I had studied the law. And I've told this story dozens of times, which is there was one instance where it was an issue with the children and the law guardian was up against me. Right. My ex was there also with her attorney, but it was the law guardian raising the stink. And long story short, we're in court and I'm battling with this law guardian. And the judge finally looked at her and said, her name was Alexandria. I won't repeat her last name because I don't want to get in trouble. He said to her, and I'm going to paraphrase it basically, which is this: he knows the law better than you do. Maybe you should take some lessons from him. One of the sweetest moments of my life. But, be that as it may, I don't pretend I know everything a lawyer does. So that's why I would say for custody and for any type of allegations, whether it's abuse, SA, or anything like that, get a lawyer. Especially on the abuse SA, get it immediately. If you get a TRO issued against you, the silver bullet as it's known, remember, you only need 5 words to get it. I am afraid of him. Boom. TRO's issued. No questions asked. So that was a great question. Thank you for that. Oops, sorry, I hit the phone here. I have the phone on a thing. Let me jump over to my TikTokers for a little bit. Again, I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, so bear with me on that. Jacked up. Hey, brother. Can't wait to see this live. Well, here you are, my friend. Good to see you every week. Gerald, hey, Dan, greetings from Switzerland. You're a legend. I'm a legend in my own mind, actually, even here in Europe. Well, thank you for that. I don't know how to answer that. I don't think I'm a legend, but anyway. Sean from Canada, I see him every week, my buddy. We really need to nail it home. This is jacked up again. Nail it home that men need to recognize what being valued looks like and isn't. Oh, hey, men, brother. So I've been doing some videos along those lines. I put out a video. I think I had it scheduled. I think it went up about an hour ago, maybe an hour and a half, where I had done one of what I call my give and takes. I hadn't done one in a while, and you guys love them, and I apologize for not doing them in a while, but I got a little sidetracked by the Russell Brand thing. But I did a give and take with a very nice young woman, sarcasm duly noted, who was talking about how she has all these guys messaging her, and they should feel honored that she allows them to message her, but she basically ghosts them. I'm paraphrasing it. And I did a reply on that, basically saying to guys, don't put up with this crap, right? That someone who does that to you doesn't value you as a person. And by the way, if a guy does it to a woman, I would say the exact same thing to him. This isn't really a gender thing, right? If someone of any type, again, going back to any type of relationship, if they don't value you, if you send them, let's say, a text, now I'm not saying they got to reply within 2 minutes, all right? But, within a day, right? Because there's times I get messages and sometimes I can't get to them until the next morning. It's not that I'm, ghosting them, but I'm doing things like this. I'm not going to pick up my phone and text people if somebody texts me right now, right? But within, let's say, a day or so, that's my time frame. It could adjust a little bit. If they haven't replied to you, even to say, hey, I'm busy, I'll get back to you, something like that. They don't respect you. They don't value you. They don't value your time, any of that stuff. So to get what Get Jacked Up's talking about is, yes, I think this is something that men in general need to, and it's something I had to learn, by the way, back in the day, need to do is realize that, what we're more than our paychecks. I've talked about this before where, society in general views men as wallets, right? You see it all the time. Whether you can talk about family court, you can talk about relationships, romantic relationships. Does he have a job? Is he stable? That kind of. They have all the code words out on the dating sites, that kind of stuff. But in a nutshell, all of society views men as bring home the bacon, right? Or the providers, if you will. And yes, that is part of who we are, and it should be part of who we are. I don't have a problem with that. It is not all we are. We need to value who we are as human beings. We need to see ourselves as human beings because society doesn't. Sorry, right? Society, as I said, views us as walking wallets. And in some cases, I think we do it to ourselves. Sorry, I need a quick drink. I've been talking all day. I think in a lot of cases we do it to ourselves and then society picks up on that. So very good point that Jacked Up made. Right out from Germany, Toronto, the center of the universe. I love Toronto. I've talked about this every week. I think it comes up, which is I love Canada. I'm in the U.S. I'm in southeastern North Carolina. I used to live in upstate New York. I've been to Canada, I don't know how many times, more times than I can probably count. I love Canadians. I've been to many other countries in the world. I've said it before, and this is not to slight anyone anywhere else, but I think Canadians are the nicest people in the world. Just saying. All right. Oh, Mulder said, Purple Rain. Remember, we're talking about, throw out to me what your favorite song is and your least favorite. Now, I'm going to guess Purple Rain is your favorite. It's one of mine. I would probably put it in my top 10. It is one that I suck at playing on guitar. There's some now I can play an easier version on it. No, I'm not grabbing the guitar and playing it. I'll get in trouble if I do. But I love that song. I remember when the movie came out in 1983, 4, somewhere around there, going to the theater and seeing it. And I knew who Prince was, but I didn't really know who Prince was, if you hear what I mean. I think it was 1999 had come out. I knew him from that. Blown away by Purple Rain. The movie in general, that song. I love that song. I put it definitely in my top 10. One of the best feeling guitar solos, I think, ever. I just, it's one that can just, right here. I love that song. So thank you for sharing that. Share with me your songs. Gainer Pig. There's a name for you. I love these names. I'm a fat gut gainer. My gut is huge because I am a proud 400-pound gainer. How do you feel about that, I'm guessing? Well, I am a trainer. I am also, you can't really, my Instagrammers can see if I move, you can kind of see my metal boxes there under my hats. Those of you over on TikTok and YouTube, I get the camera a little different angle, but I am a competitive power lifter. I still am. I have not competed in a couple of years. I got injured a while back, but I'm looking at re-competing. So I'm with you, my friend. Mass moves mass. The heavier you are, the more weight you can move. And I like to compete in the super heavyweight divisions when I go. I am been training pretty religiously in the last few months, although I did slack off in the last month or so. I got to get back to it. But yes, I am looking to start computing. Well, computing too. Competing. I've won a few times in the past. And I love the fact that now that I'm 60, generally I'm in the senior division. All right. Gerald said, Leonard Skinner, Simple Man. I think I've played that in every band I've ever been in. It's okay for me, but good song, good song. Aeropostale, there you go. Zeppelin, Since I've Been Loving You. Great song. By the way, those of you over on YouTube, check out a site or anywhere. Check out, her name is Amy. It's Virgin Rock. She is, and I'm giving her a shout out just cause. She's a classically trained musician. She plays the harp and I think piano. She does the harp a lot on her channel. And she reviews rock songs. She listens to them first time ever and kind of gives her feedback on them. She's phenomenal. I love listening to her because you get a lot of information and you hear, what's really cool to me is you hear and see her react to the songs that she's listening to. And Since I've Been Loving You, actually, she came out with that this past weekend. And I watched the entire thing. It's like 45, 50 minutes long. But just watch her face as she's listening to it. And here's, Robert Plant's intonations and all that. Great song. Least favorite for Aeropostale, Barbie Girl. Bleh. I'm with you. Can't even remember the last time I heard that song. For a reason. So I'm just kind of jumping around here. Staybolt Bill. Here's one. After failed brief relationships, I ended up a hermit. Still am in many years. Breaking out of that is particularly difficult when one doesn't like bars or... Okay, so I'm going to tell you this, and this is going to shock a lot of you. I'm pretty much a hermit too. I like to keep to myself. That doesn't mean I live all solely in my house and never leave, but to give you perspective, I haven't left my house on Sunday. So I kind of sort of relate to that. If you're looking to get out and about, my friend, what I would tell you is this: do what I do, which is make some friends. And it doesn't have to be female ones, right? I mean, if you want to date, that's a whole other story, but I'm just talking in general. I was very fortunate recently that, someone reached out to me through a DM and I happened to see it because I get, by the way, quick note, I get literally thousands of DMs a week, like tens of thousands. So if I don't respond to your DM, I apologize. I just cannot keep up. When I go on, say Instagram or TikTok or any one of them, I may scroll through a few, but I very rarely get through them all. So I apologize for that. But this one I happened to catch, and he happened to live right down the road from me. So this was a couple months back, and we've hung out more than a few times. I now consider him a very good friend. But that's, it's kind of luck of the draw, right? Reach out to people. If there's something you like doing, I like to golf. I like to weightlift, obviously, talk to people in those things and make friends with them. That gets you out of the house. I think having someone to go meet, as I said, I'm not talking dating, I'm just talking in general, gets you out of the house. Find an event that you like to do. Go to a concert or whatever. Where I am in the summertime, they've ended now, but they had free concerts downtown. So you can go hang out at those. You're going to meet people there, right? In fact, to go back to Gerald, the Leonard Skinner, there was a Leonard Skinner tribute band. It was really cool. They were actually phenomenal. Just go places and be open. I'm one of those ones. I can go to a movie and be there by myself. I can go to a restaurant, have dinner by myself. Doesn't faze me in the least. I enjoy it. But there's something to be said for getting out. The best way to do it, baby steps, my friend. Get out. Reach out to a friend if you have one. If you don't, go make a friend. Get online. Look in your local area there are meetup groups, right? That you can go with some hobby that you like. Don't just go have coffee if you don't know anybody, but let's say golf, right? Meetup groups for golf or whatever, something like that. That's a really good question. I hope that helps you. I really hate that Instagram has the waves. I mean, I like knowing who joined, don't get me wrong, but literally I have dozens of you. And I'm missing comments. What I like about TikTok and YouTube, and I'm going to get to YouTube in a second. Martin says, I throw people out that don't value me as a person. Very good point, right? And that's something out, by the way, something out. Something else I would say to you is if someone's not bringing value to your life, out with them. Why? Why have them in your life, especially if they're making your life miserable, right? By the way, Rocco, over on YouTube, watching here too. I got people everywhere. I'm loving this. Check out Lori Gardner. Sounds like Stevie Nicks from Matthew Smith. Or Lainey Gardner, I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with that name. I will make a note to do that. Fun fact about Stevie Nicks. I have never met her, but I have a very good friend who was hanging out in Vegas. And he was hanging out behind one of the venues. I forget which one it was, one of the hotels. And she was out there with him smoking. And he didn't know who she was. He was having this conversation. He says she's very tiny. And he's like bigger than me. And that's saying something, right? Massive dude. Big time bodybuilder, right? He's hanging out chatting with her. And then she goes inside and somebody else comes over. He goes and says to him, do you know who that was? He goes, nah, it's some chick. He goes, no, that was Stevie Nicks. He goes, you're shitting me. He didn't even recognize her. Fun story. I know, probably doesn't mean much to anybody else, but I still laugh when he does it. Staybolt Bill, whipping post by the Allman Brothers. Wow. That's I'm just thinking about that. I had one band in the 80s. We did play that. I was only the rhythm guitar. No, I was in the bassist in that band. And our lead guitarist used to love that song, and he would just go off for 20 minutes. We turned it into a jam. Boy, you're bringing back memories, guys. I'm just going to jump around a little bit. Badge, don't forget to thank them. I get to that in a little bit, yes. Guys, if you are giving me badges, like Matthew sent me a heart over on TikTok, if you're giving me badges, I do appreciate them. If I miss them, I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can. Martin, here we go. I need to start protein shakes, but I don't know where to start. I run and train in the gym and 5K. Does anyone here have tips? Well, I am a trainer. So, great question. I'm opening up today. So if you want to go training, we can. We've done it before. And I'm going to tell you up front, I'll give you the caveat. I drink 5 protein shakes a day, 4 to 5 a day. All right. Because I need to for what I do. I'm a big fan of them. I will tell you, of the people I have come to me that for various reasons, I'm not talking about competitive bodybuilders as I train strength training and that kind of stuff, or powerlifting specifically, but just the average Jane or Joe, right? They're not getting anywhere near enough protein in their diet. It's not even close to what you need, all right? General rule of thumb, and I'm also, by the way, a nutritionist, or I was. I'm not in. When I left New York, I lost that because I'm not licensed where I am now, but still doesn't mean I don't know what I'm talking about. But the general rule of thumb I give to people is 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, which is more than most people will tell you. Most people aren't even hitting the absolute bare minimum that someone should have in a day is somewhere around 50 to 55 to 60 grams of protein. That's to keep you alive, not even just functioning, right? It's nowhere near enough. That's the equivalent of 1.5 medium-sized chicken breasts, or about 8 ounces of meat during a day, give or take. All right. It's nowhere near enough protein, especially as you get older like me. I eat about 300 to 400 grams of protein a day for my size and what I'm doing. So yes, I'm a big fan of protein shakes. I have them every day. I am not getting paid to say this, but the one that I use is Rule 1. I get no compensation from them. I'm a big fan of theirs. I've been using them for 10 years. Go check them out. They're available on Amazon. They also have their own site. There's a lot of good ones out there. The one thing, caveat I will tell you, 1, do not go to Walmart and get your protein powder. That stuff is crap, all right? I'm not even a fan of GNC with a lot of stuff, although, I'm talking their brands, although they do sell the Rule 1. If it's cheap for a reason. It's got fillers, it's got crap. You want to look for a protein powder, whey powder, casein, whatever one you want to use. And again, if you're just an average Joe, don't stress out about the kind of protein, right? Guys get into fights with me. Well, I got to have my whey here and my casein there and blah, 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 blah. The average person, you don't need to worry about it. I'd use a blend, all right, myself. And I am a power lifter. But what you want to look for is a good quality protein, and so sourced well, not manufactured as I call it, which is the Walmart crap, right? The other thing you want to look for is that it's pure protein. So there's a lot of filler ones out there. The way to tell how much protein is in something is take the number of grams of protein in the serving, multiply by 4, and then divide it into the number of calories in that scoop. The reason I like Rule 1 is most of them are about 80 to 90% protein. Walmart's might not even hit 50. Actually, there's one I know doesn't even hit 30. It's all powder, like literally powder, okay? Just to give you perspective. Hopefully that answers that question. Throw them at me, guys. Coochie, no disrespect. I love what you're saying. I agree 100%, but my name and I'll buy... But say my name and I'll buy another badge. C. Coochie. There you go. I just said your name. Sneaky Biscuits. Love that name. What's kicking? All right. I'm going to jump back over to my TikTokers because I don't want to ignore them. Ice Wolf from Belfast. Again, I say it every week. I got to get to these countries. Belgrade, Serbia I give up saying your name. There's my Jamaicans. I see them every week. Hey, Brian, how are you? I'm just laughing at some of the comments on here. Okay, here we go. Jim, I play guitar and bass too for over 40 years. Shoot to Thrill, AC/DC. Good one. Love all Beatles songs. You and I are be friends. Sean, my favorite band is Pink Floyd, The Wall. Period. And I am one. This is a question for you, Sean. Dark Side, Wall. What's your favorite? What do you think's better? I'm a Wall guy. And I catch hell from other people. What do you mean? No. I'm not dissing Dark Side, but I love Pink Floyd. They're in my top 4, probably 4 bands. My number 1 is the Beatles, hands down. Number 2, you ready? Pearl Jam. Love Pearl Jam. Been to God knows how many of their concerts. Well over 20, 25 concerts of theirs. Floyd's right there. And Supertramp is another one I like. Yeah. I like a lot of bands, but those are probably my big ones I listen to the most. Get jacked up. When it comes to legal, even lawyers get lawyers because you can't be emotional and think clearly. That's a great point. I know we're kind of jumping around here, but Jack is right on that, okay? For whatever reason, I was a freak. My lawyer even said this when she went in with me. She goes, "You're a robot. You're like the Terminator in a courtroom." I had no emotion whatsoever. No matter how good it was going or how bad, I was the same all the way through. And, lawyers will tell you that's the way you need to be, especially if you're a guy, right? If you're a guy and you start showing emotions, especially negative ones, it will get held against you. If mom breaks down and cries, oh, the poor mom. Oh, I need to sympathize with her. That's what the judge will think. Dad breaks down and cries. I won't use the word. It starts with P. You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. All right. Ravenclaw over on IG. Greetings from SA. Hello, sir. I sang it at open. Oh, you do whipping posts? Stay belt Bill. Whipping posts at open mics. You got some talent, my friend, if you can do that. I cannot sing worth crap. Psikuchi, I won the Dexter Jackson bodybuilding competition. Whoa, dude. Double thumbs up from me. That took some work. I know what's involved in that. Matthew, how tall are you if you don't mind me asking? No, I don't mind. This is a touchy subject, and not because you asked. I was 6'1¼ at one point. In fact, when I played football, that was my listed height, was 6'1". I'm now 6 foot and not even a quarter. I've lost over an inch in height in my 50s. I actually, because I track all this stuff, over an inch in height. I am not a happy camper, and I refuse to go under 6 feet. So, yeah, I am, I still say I'm 6'1", but I'm actually just a hair over 6 feet. Maybe if I grew my hair. But, yeah, I don't mind sharing that with you. So, yeah, I meet the criteria for the 6s still, even though I've shrank. Martin said that helps a lot. I'll jump over to my TikTokers in a minute. I got a ton of comments on. Thank you for the badge, Coochie. Martin, so 1 gram of good quality pure protein per pound of body weight. Yes, Martin. By pure, I don't mean by Pure Protein. There is a brand called Pure Protein. Crap. Don't use that. Get the good stuff. Stable. I have to bum out Stevie Nicks fans, but One Winged Dove is just god awful. Did you ever play that on guitar? My guitarist, have you ever played White Winged Dove on guitar? It's the most boring thing to play. I had a band, we tried it. We had a female lead singer who was one of the best singers. In fact, she is the best singer I ever worked with. And now all my other lead singer friends are going to yell at me. But she wanted to do that song. And I'm, sure, I'll try it. I think we practiced it, probably over 2 weeks. We tried it 20 or 30 times. She could sing it. The rest of us were like falling asleep. We just didn't gel on it, so that never made the set list. But yeah, that's a good. I actually liked the song. Ravenclaw, Zeppelin, Animals, Staybolt Bill, Animals. You're both wrong. I'm not going to fight with you on that. It's a pretty good one too. So let me know, guys, if you're jumping in fresh on here. My name is Dan, otherwise known as Men Need to Be Heard, although it's backwards over here. Just open chat today. I'm just having a little fun with people. And what I want to do is, and this is just for fun, is share with me your favorite song and your least favorite song, just so kind of for fun. All right. Sling said, how you doing? Nice to see you again. Nice to see you, my friend. Minister Mex, I figured out how to stream on multiple platforms. I was actually on Minister Mex's podcast, what was it, 2 weeks ago? Couple Sundays ago. And we were talking about streaming. The reason I have figured it out, Mex, is that I'm using my phone and a computer to do it with. It's crazy. I'm trying the best I can. So I apologize, guys, if I'm missing things, comments, badges, the GIFs over on TikTok. I'm sorry. I will try and get to them as best I can. Jabba just sent me a heart. Matthew sent me a heart over on TikTok. But anyway, Jacked Up. I think you're just rolling today, Jacked. I love it. I think the prettier a later is, the more opportunities they have, and that's problematic. Kind of like if you go look at the lovely young woman, sorry I put it, that I did my video with that went up earlier this afternoon. It's actually a very attractive woman. But I wouldn't go near someone like that with that kind of attitude. She's actually, I feel bad for her. I'm not mad at her. I actually feel bad for her because that attitude permeates out, right? If you're making a video to get clicks and stuff like that, okay. But think about, like, people are going to see that. And then I'm sure that's part of who she is. And I'm not trying to knock her, but if you think people aren't going to pick up on that, Gen X 80s. I've been married 25 years. If she texts me, immediately respond. Right. Respect to do that, right? It's respect. That's what it's about. Martin, what do we think of Sabotage? We, that would be me, think it's awesome, or they're awesome. More on Animals from Floyd. You guys, I guess Floyd's right now the number one. Come on. Where's my Beatles peeps? Beatles, hello? Pearl Jam? Anyone? Bueller? Morning from Tasmania. Scott Boucher from I think you're my first from Tasmania. I've broken my Tasmania virginity. Dark Side Wall. Others had... Yeah, okay. Coochie, thank you for standing up for his brother. That's what we're here for. We all work together. Over on... Just checking the various ones. I need a PA. I need a personal assistant to help me out with this stuff because I love it. Matt from England. John from Tennessee. Hello, friends. Saudi Arabia sling. I love it. Matt said, love what you do. People don't get how tough it can be to be a man. And that's one of the reasons I do what I do, my friend, is to kind of help people see what we go through. For those of you that don't know, I have two different channels on TikTok. I do one on Instagram, one on YouTube. I do a series, my TikTokers, on my other TikTok account, which is Men Need to Be Heard 2, TOO. That was an account that got banned and suddenly came back out of nowhere. That account, I do very short videos, which are what I call Did You Evers. I do them in the morning on Instagram and on YouTube also. And what I talk about on there is double standards that men have to deal with, whether it's society, from women, all that kind of stuff. Let me tell you, if you want to be entertained, forget what I'm doing on the videos. Go read the comments on those. Oh, I love them. I do them for the comments because the ladies get really upset with me because they know I'm right. They know there's double standards, but they don't like someone who points them out. I get flagged all the time on those. There hasn't been a week in the last probably 4 months that I haven't had somebody try and take one of those videos down. DJ Neil Malley. I hope I said your name right. My mother asked me to remix Purple Rain, but I'm failing. I would kill to see how you remix that. Angel Warrior. Carry On Wayward Son from Kansas. There's a good one. I remember the first time I heard that, which was what, 1976-ish? I was probably 12, 13. Well, I was born in 63, so I was 13, I think it was. That was one of the songs that caused me to pick up guitar back then. It was mostly Beatles, but I have to say, I love me some Kansas. Dust in the Wind's one of my favorite to play on guitar. No, guys, I can't play them on here. I have had people ask before, why don't I pick up a guitar and play? Copyright issues. Can I get away with it? Probably. I'm not willing to take the risk. I don't want to have a problem with it. So Matthew's kind of chiming in on what I said earlier about getting out, go to pub with mates. Hard enough. Yeah, get out and meet people. Join leagues, pools, darting, bowling. There you go. Love my Jamaicans again. You know, you guys might be out doing the Canadians lately. Let me jump over to Instagram. By the way, thank you all for the badges. I'm just doing a general one. I'm trying. Matthew said, they say Clint Eastwood shrunk down where he's barely 6 feet tall. I had not heard that. He's what, 95? Are you telling me that's what I have coming? Once I go below 6 feet, I am not going to be a happy camper. Because then, you know, no woman will ever look at me the same again. No, I'm only kidding. Because I don't care. You know, it's just something about, it really bothers me that I've lost an inch. And it's not in my control. So to the point, just a fun story. I, way back when, worked at the YMCA when I lived up north before I bought and owned a gym. But they had an inversion table, or inversion rack. And I was the only one in the plate, the beautiful one. I was the only one who ever used it. I used to sit in that thing for like 20 minutes. I loved it. I need to get one because it'll lengthen your spine out the other way. It might make me taller again. Anything I can do, right? All right, scrolling up the wall, best Pink Floyd album. Agreed, Matthew. You know, again, it's all opinion, right? Let me know your favorite band, or favorite song, sorry, and least favorite song. Beatles' best song, And I Love Her. Ooh, that's a good one. I haven't revealed mine yet. You got to wait. That's a good one, though. I will tell you that. That's a good one. All right. Memphis, Tennessee. Favorite rock song? Doesn't have to be rock songs. It can be any kind of song. Coochie, I'm 26. You're guiding this generation. Thank you for saying that, because that's really what I'm trying to do, guys, right? I'm an old man. Y'all know that. My detractors love to point out that I'm old. I had one earlier today that said I shouldn't be giving advice because I've been divorced a couple times. What does that have to do with it? I can still give advice, right? One of the main reasons these channels exist across all the social medias is I like to just educate people. And when I say educate, give you information. You know, I've been doing a new series called Advice from Dad. In fact, I put one up the other day where a couple different guys had reached out to me basically with the same question saying, you know, should I date single moms? It's not my place to say whether you should or shouldn't. That's up to you. But I pointed out a couple of issues there you need to be aware of if you're going to date single moms. And then you take it from there. That's what I'm trying to do with my channels. They're not anti-woman. They're not anti-marriage. I actually am a huge fan of both women and marriage. But I think it's incumbent on me and anyone like me, my whole generation, to help let the younger guys and girls know some of the realities of life. We've lost that in our society today. I catch so much crap from the youngers that don't like me. They don't respect me, right? And that's fine. I don't care. But just because I'm old or bald, they love to point out that apparently if you lose your hair, you lose your brains. We've lost that one of the things I love about the Japanese culture is they revere their elders. And I'm not saying this to get brownie points for me, but I've been through a lot. I can share that wisdom. You can do with it what you want, but that's why I do what I do. So I appreciate you saying that. All right, just kind of scrolling up. Zeppelin, No Quarter. Ooh, that's a good one. Floyd Sheep, good one. Journey, Who's Crying Now? Probably my favorite Journey song. Yeah, I would say that's my favorite. And Beatles, Another Eye, and I love her. Comment sections, yeah. Thank you for the compliments. All right. Oh, Matthew, good one. All right, so let me kind of scroll back a little bit. I'm going to get to you, Matthew, in just a second. I got to scroll back because I'm a little behind on my TikTokers, and I apologize for that. I'm kind of blanket thank you for all the kind compliments, all right? I need to go to Net Capital for crowdfunding as a startup. For what, Jacked Up? Funding is a big issue that I'm going to be talking more and more about because there are some big things going on, all right, behind the scenes. I'm not ready to kind of release a lot of stuff, but I'm working with a couple of organizations, national level, to do some things. I've been asked to speak for groups. The problem is that costs money for me to do, right? They can't afford to pay me to come out and speak. So, to fly out, and these are to advocate for men issues. I've been asked to go to Washington, D.C. and meet with senators. Again, it costs money to do that. So that's something I got to think about. So thank you for that. I'll have to look into that. Casper, one of my favorite bands is Queen, Freddie Mercury's. Yep. I've never done a Queen song in any of the bands I've done. Not one did we ever do a Queen song. Sean, have you ever thought about membership per month to help taking? I have that, Sean. I got to talk more about it. All right. Do you mind if I'll just 2 minutes? All right. I do have memberships. All right. I have a Patreon. The link is in my bio. If you go up in the link tree in my bio, and I'm probably going to get shut down for talking about this, but who cares? In the page, there's 2 ways you can support me easily. There's a thing called Buy Me a Coffee, right? That you can make a single donation, or there's a membership through that. I just turned on the membership on that because I guess I had to get approved. It wasn't available, and then suddenly it was. And I post videos there. I also have subscriptions on Instagram. I have Patreon also. The Patreon, I have 3 different levels of membership on. All of those can go towards supporting me. If you do the higher levels on Patreon or the subscriptions or that, I also do a monthly private meeting. All right. This is something I want to talk about. Thank you, Sean. It's almost like I paid him to put that out there, but I didn't. Because we just had one recently, which is the private meetings are Zoom meetings, right? No one's allowed in except members. They're not recorded. They never get put up anywhere. And we have honest conversations. Guys will talk about their family court issues, what they're going through, seeking advice. Guys will talk about being abused. We had one a couple months ago. Dude was being abused pretty bad. I got him in and got him some help. They're private. No one can ever get access to them. They can never be subpoenaed for court because they're not recorded. And if they try to subpoena me to get information, my response is going to be, there's no recording, there's no tracking of it. And I can't remember what I had for breakfast, let alone what happened, say, 3 months ago, right? So, yes, I have them. And if you want to support me and support the work that I do and help me do other things, like I'm working to get domestic violence shelters open in all 50 states. I'm working at the federal level for that. That's where I need to go to D.C. on, stuff like that. I can meet with my senator here where I am locally, federal senator, not state, although I need to meet with the state also. But if I go to D.C., I can meet with many different people, right? That's what I want to do, but I need funding to do that, all right? Get Jacked Up. Opening riff of Layla was my ringtone, but A Day in the Life is my favorite. Yes and yes. Lee Fenright, Henry VIII. All right. Play guitar, lift weights, and been through hell with my Narc X and my kids. That's Mr. Axe Grinder. So you're like me. Are you bald too? I can't see on your picture. Life lesson for me, I wasn't able to have my ex protect us boundary from her parents. Very toxic. Yeah, that's a tough one, right? Um, Been there, my friend. Can I Oh, Matthew, this is the one I wanted to get back to. Sorry. I know I'm kind of jumping around. Can you recommend other creators that cover men's issues? Get your paper and pen ready. All right. They are on Instagram. I look here for Instagram, here for YouTube, TikTok. I'm going to throw some out, and I'm going to apologize to the ones I'm going to miss. And again, I may not remember their names, but there is, for relationships, you got Emily King. I bet most people know who she is because she's huge. And Lauren, right? Dadvocate. Love both of them as far as talking about relationship stuff. Not so much men's issues, but I wanted to give them a shout out. And I want to get both of them on my podcast at some point. Guys like me, all right? Matty Machuli. He's got multiple accounts on both. I think on IG it's just Machuli_IG. He's been on my podcast. But Matty is also, he has multiple Machuli accounts on TikTok. I'm not sure if he's on, I know he's on Twitter. I'm not sure if he's on YouTube. Let's see. Lindsay, who may be on here, I haven't seen her yet, but Lindsay is Squirrely Girl 1988. You've got Michelle, which is Reclaiming Your Voice, sorry, too. You've got Tammy, Manicured Mom. You've got one I consider a dear friend and who happens to be a divorce attorney, which is David Pizarro. He goes by Union of Dads on IG, YouTube, and Instagram. He's also Dad's Law School. There's just a few to get started. I am missing tons of others. If they pop in my brain, I will let you know. Veteran Fathers, Bill Corbett is one of the groups that I'm kind of working with behind the scenes. Go follow them. There's lots of good ones out there, and we need to all support them. A simple thing you can do, it doesn't cost you a dime. If you see a video from someone who's speaking out on a men's issue, you can help us out because we get throttled. And I probably should talk about that a little bit. Like it, share it, comment on it. All the things everybody talks about algorithm-wise. My views have dropped so bad it isn't funny, right? So give you perspective. Just kind of, hold on, I need a quick drink. Back in June and July, I think it was June, I had 3 million views on Instagram and about the same on TikTok. My Instagram now, last month, September, like 1% of that. Videos, I used to average tens of thousands of views per video. On Instagram now, I'm averaging about 1,500 views. TikTok, not much better. And I used to get tens of thousands of views. I am clearly being shadow banned. There is no question I am. YouTube's about the same. I got to give credit where credit's due on that. I've been demonetized on Instagram. All right. They gave me back. People can subscribe to me. They gave me that back. They can do the badges. But as far as monetization on the reels, nope, I'm done permanently. I will never get that back. TikTok, I made a couple $100 a month, which helped offset some of my costs. I couldn't even buy McDonald's for what I'm going to make in September. It's crazy what's going on. And it's not just me. We were talking about the other men's, people that talk about men's issues. We're all seeing it. There's clearly something going on to silence us. Enough said on that. Logical, hey buddy, how you doing? Stone in Love Journey. Love playing that one on guitar, by the way. Love that one. Age is just a number, mate. Exactly right, Matt. I totally agree with you. I'm 60, but that means I'm middle-aged. Huh. Okay. Just jump over on my Instagrammers. Black Sabbath, War Pigs. Hello. Can I get a name out on War Pigs, please? I love playing that song. Oh, somebody, I just missed. I played Sabbath, War Pigs on drums. I played it on guitar many times. Sorry, I moved my phone a little bit. Ozzy was straight up legend. Ozzy, he's not a hero of mine, but how's that dude still alive? The only one I think worse than Ozzy is Keith Richard, to be honest with you. You know, it's just, you think of what they've done to their bodies. Here I am, I'm not a health nut, but I take care of my body. They didn't. They're going to probably outlive with me. For you to grow this with men, I'm using them for my company, and many men will support you. Jacked up, you need to email me. Men need to be heard at gmail.com. Let's chat offline on that, please. I get this. All right, Ben, why do I blink so much? All right, I'm going to answer it again. I've answered it before in videos. I have a medical condition. All right, I have my lights on so that you can see me. I have a box light here. I have a ring light there. I have a ring light over here. They're very bright. I am hypersensitive to light. All right, I also have cataracts and some other things that I have issues. So I blink constantly. So I actually had, this is true, 2-3 months ago, I had what's the doctor one? Ophthalmologist? Is that the doctor one? Reach out to me and go, dude, you need to go get your eyes checked. Fortunately, I'd already been reached out one. I'm actually having surgery next year. And blinking, that's why I blink. And I don't mind you asking. There is a health reason. What I don't like is when people take shots at me for it, But yeah, I blink because I am hyper light sensitive. I'm actually a redhead also, which doesn't help. I know. Where is it? It's gone. But when I have these lights shining on me, like when I'm in a TV studio, I wish I could wear sunglasses. Because if you've never been in a TV studio, I have one box light up high here that does the overhead. But in a TV studio, they have a whole string of them across. And it's just crazy how bright it is right in your face. So yeah, I don't mind you asking. And I appreciate you asked as kindly as you did. Dema Denuit, yes, you did spell it wrong, but yes, we do need to do a live together. Actually, I want to get her on my thing. Yeah, so somebody else, shadow ban, same thing happening. All people bringing up men's issues. It is. It seems to be across. A lot of us creators talk behind the scenes, and we're all seeing it. There's a bunch of us that do that. Just catching up. Guys, if you have sent, I see somebody sent me Rose over here, Rock. Guys, I appreciate all of the gifts, all of the stuff. If I miss saying thank you, here's my blanket thank you to you. I'm trying to keep up as best I can. I'm kind of liking that I have Instagram too at the same time now. I just hit something there. Hold on. There we go. The problem is I got to use my phone for that. All right. Guys, if you haven't joined in already with your favorite and least favorite songs, that's kind of my thing. I'm kind of scrolling through all the love. Thank you for all that. Guys, feel free to comment anything you want. I will try and keep up with it. I got to get back to my TikTok. I'm pretty much caught up on Instagram. Let me get back to my TikTokers. Barry, I'm 63 and just don't have the same energy. Used to lift weights in my 40s. Can't find energy anymore. Yeah, getting old sucks. So for me, it happened between 50 and 55. Now, mind you, I've been a trainer since 1979. All right, 43 years. When I was younger, so much younger than today, had to reference that again. When I was in my 20s, I was training people that were in their 50s. And I didn't understand. I mean, I knew the biology behind it. I studied the human body and all that stuff. But you don't know until you experience it. For my younger fans watching this, you may think that at 20, 30, 40, you're going to be fine at 50 or 60. You have no idea what's coming. It's not that you can't do the same workouts. I, for the most part, can still do the same workouts. The only thing I can't really do anymore is my overhead presses because my shoulders are so effed up from football, and lifting. It's recovery. I do not recover like I used to. And testosterone levels have plummeted for me. So to kind of get back to what Barry was saying, Barry, get your T checked. And don't anticipate your doctor's going to give you any. I'm battling with mine because my numbers are very low. And I probably should qualify for T, and she won't give it to me because she's wonderful. I love my doctor, but she's 31 years old and female. She has no idea what a 60-year-old male goes through. I always say they'll hand out estrogen to women like Pez, but they will not give guys testosterone. And I'm not a doctor, but I know enough to know that, I don't. Oh, I'm going to lose Instagram. I must be in an hour. So my Instagrammers, I'm going to wave to you because I'm about to lose you. I'm going to be still on TikTok and YouTube, but it's been a pleasure having you on. And thank you for all the stuff. And I'll catch you guys next week as I'm going to do Instagram again. TikTokers, hang on. I'll be right back to you. And thank you for joining me on the Instagram, guys. All right. We'll see you next week, 4 o'clock. All right. Let me get back to what I was talking about with my TikTokers. And specifically to kind of answer Barry's question is doctors just, they're afraid of testosterone with guys. And I've had conversations with people, doctors, medical people. There are issues like prostate cancer can go up and all that stuff. Those are all valid concerns. But the reality is when you are about 25 is when it starts for guys. So think women menopause. Everybody knows it's around 50, give or take, right? Menopause, and there is such a thing, really starts in your 20s, and it gets worse and worse. You lose about 1% or so every few years, right? I know there's more specific numbers, but I'm talking in general here. So my testosterone levels now compared to when I was 25 are about 40% less. And the reality is mine are actually lower than that. So I get you when you have no energy. There are days I can't get off the couch. And it's not because I eat bad. I eat very well, all right? I'm not going to say I'm, perfect with my eating because who wants to be? But about 85% of my eating is clean. I eat a crap load of protein, etc. But there is something about the male body as it ages just runs down. And again, I can still... I was deadlifting almost 600 pounds the other day and loving the hell out of it. I'm still tired from that. That was what's today? Wednesday? It was Sunday. I'm exhausted from it still. Back in the day, I'd have been deadlifting the next day. I used to be, I was 3 times a week. I'm cutting back to twice a week with my lifting. I'm going to have to. I just can't recover fast enough. Jacked Up's going to email me. Thanks, bud. Ben said... I hope you get the healing you need. Thank you. So I will be having surgery probably January or February to get it addressed. It'll never be completely gone away, but at least they can get the cataracts done. And I got glaucoma. The bottom line is I'm eventually going to be blind, and I know it. But yeah. Angel. Hey, Angel. I think we need to get rid of the negative stigma surrounding dating single mothers. See, now, I don't say that it's negative. I married a single mother. My second marriage was to a single mother. Sorry, I'm not against dating single mothers, but there are things you need to be aware of. Go watch my video. A couple things you need to be aware of. One of the big ones is this is reality. This is not a knock on single mothers. This is reality. The divorce rate for, I call them normal marriages, first marriages, is about 50 to 55%. Coin flip. If you marry a single mother, that number goes up to, failure rate goes up to almost 70%. That's a big risk for guys, right? It's something you need to be aware of. I'm not saying don't date single mothers, but you damn well better be aware of that. And the reason for it, the number one reason, by the way, go read this book, The Boy Crisis by Warren Farrell. Read everything by him. He talks about it in that book. One of the reasons is children are master manipulators, and they will drive a wedge between the step parent and the parent. And that's why those marriages end. That's the biggest reason. So you need to be aware of that. That's my biggest take on it. Guys, you need to check your testosterone. Yes. So agreed, Quantum FX. By the way, you notice I didn't mention about how just in general, guys' testosterone levels have plummeted. Guys in their study I was just reading a week or 2 weeks ago, guys in their 20s have less testosterone on average than guys my age, 60, had 20 and 30 years ago. Diet is the biggest reason, in my opinion. Okay? There's a lot going on that we don't know about as far as we are wrecking men's bodies. So yes, get your testosterone checked. A lot of insurances don't cover it, by the way. Mine doesn't. It costs me an additional roughly $200 to get my T checked, and I have to force my doctor to do it. It's not something that's part of a normal screening. What you need to do is just have the conversation with your doctor. Can you run my T? Right? And there's a couple tests they'll do. It's all part of the blood test. Like I said, it costs me a couple extra $100 when I do it because it's not covered by my insurance. But my numbers are pretty low. They're just not quite low enough yet. Don't get me started. All right, Elroy, I don't know why, but you kind of remind me of Walt from Breaking Bad. Gee, I've never heard that one before. Elroy, like, I don't know, 20 minutes ago, a day goes by, I don't hear about that. He stole the look from me. I've been looking like this since way before that. Angel, were you a big concert goer back in the day? Yes. In fact, I was having this conversation with an old buddy of mine. We used to go to, so there was a place called in upstate New York called SPAC, Saratoga Performing Arts Center. It's an amphitheater with a lawn. Back in the 70s and early 80s, it was $5 to sit on the lawn. We went virtually to every concert there was. I saw so many different bands. All the rock bands you know about, but I saw, country bands would come through. You could sit on the lawn for the orchestra, stuff like that. Huge. I've been to thousands of concerts in my day. Unfortunately, I probably will never go to one again because I refuse to pay the prices that they want now. I just will not pay hundreds of dollars to go see somebody. Nobody's that good. The only exception I would make to that is if the Beatles reunited, and there's only 2 of the 4 left, so that ain't happening. I've seen pretty much all the bands I want to see. Anyway, but good question. Let me know favorite song and least favorite song. Axe Grinder, Comfortably None, and Solo, perfect. I agree with you, but I like the first solo better. Let that sink in. I think the first solo is actually better. It was fighting words for some people, but let's be honest, Gilmour's God, okay? As far as for my guitarist friends, as far as intonation and feeling, Gilmour to me is the best. His solos just right here. There's some great individual solos out there. Jimmy Page has some amazing ones. Yeah, there's Stairway. I actually think Stairway's good. It's not great solo. I know, fighting words again. But that for me, Comfortably Numb, both solos are, I'd put them 1 and 1A as the best solos ever, but I think the first one's better. Otoji TRT, yep, that's what I want to get on. All right, so you're on 125 milligrams a week. See, the funny thing with my doctor is having this conversation with her, and I know where to get it if I had to and I wanted to. I'm talking to take it legally. I know a lot of places I can get it illegally, but I just want enough to get my numbers up around 700. That's it. And she can't understand that. I'm actually in the 3s, the low 3s. The threshold before they'll give it to you is under 300. I'm right there. I'm just above it. I'm not looking to get 2,000 milligrams so I can look like Schwarzenegger, all right? But even that, they cannot understand that. She's a wonderful doctor. She knows her crap, but she's blinded by the fact that she's a female 31-year-old. She cannot understand what a 60-year-old male's energy levels plummeted like. You can read the books. I talked about this earlier. I read all the books when I was her age. I knew biologically what was happening, but until you experience it, you have no clue. None. And it is not, somebody just said, it's not mess around with. It is horrible. It is horrible. When you get up in the morning and you literally just drag to the couch, it's not every day for me. And I think I attribute that it's not worse than it is because of all the working out I do. But there are times, it happened to me about a month ago, where I literally spent Friday and Saturday on a couch, didn't move. I just had no energy. And I felt fine other than that. Anyway, so Elroy, my doctor wouldn't give me testosterone either. He sent me to a urologist. Yep. And I do see a urologist for other problems. The urologist is right there with my doctor. Well, you don't really need it. Your numbers, my last number was 314 to give you a frame of reference. Norm is, according to the medical community, is 300 to 1,000. So if I got below 300, so I got to 299, they'd consider it. Doesn't mean they'd give it to me. Because I'm at 314, they will not. I hate that. Healthy testosterone should be above 600. I actually think it's 700, but we're quibbling, right? I agree with you. It's just, guys, go get your T checked. Seriously, go get it checked. And then wherever the numbers are, if you're struggling with energy, if you're struggling like feeling lethargic, there's other issues. You can go Google it. I'm not going to get too deep into it here. Check your T. You might be shocked at how low it can be. I had a friend of mine, same thing. He's in the same boat as I am, and his numbers are really, his doctor won't give him either. And he's just like me. He's just like, there are days I can't get off the couch. I said, dude, go get your T checked. You're probably in the low 300s like I am. Sure enough, he was. Axe Grinder, I met a single mother less than 12 months. Reason for separation, her daughter. Okay, I'm leaving the other part out. But yeah, that's what creates the issue, right? Again, it's not necessarily that the mother's bad, but as I said in the video, by the way, check out the merch. You can go buy it. Link is in my bio. Sometimes I just think of these things. It's not that the mother per se is bad, but it's the reality that the dynamic is not favorable, all right? Again, kids are master manipulators. And moms, there are a group of, I'm not saying bad single mothers, group of single mothers that are looking for a dad for their kids. Put it that way. Even though the kids already have a dad. They want that guy in the house. But they only want him, and this is what I talked about in the video, if he parents the way she expects him to. If he parents like mom does. Men do not parent the same way as women, nor should we. We have strengths and weaknesses. So when he tries to be a parent as a dad, perfect example. Now, this was not a problem in my second marriage, but every once in a while it would pop up that I was much stricter with the kids than she was. She wanted everyone to be kumbaya and love one another, and we're not going to yell, and we have boundaries, but they got to be flexible. Whereas no, you screw up, you're going to pay the price, right? And the way I was, if one kid screwed up, we had 6 of them. I pulled the internet for all 6, and oh boy, peer pressure was a beautiful thing. And she would get mad at me for that. You're not being fair. It's not about being fair. It's about teaching the kids. And I had the kids later on say to me, they loved her, and they consider her mother. Even my kids from my first wife consider her to be, my second wife to be their mother. They would say she was too easy sometimes. And they weren't trying to insult her in any way. It's just the way she parented. That's a common thing. Sometimes you'll see it the other way, by the way, all right? That's the reality. Again, I would never say don't date single mothers, but do it with your eyes wide open. Jacked up. Handshake PCI for men has dropped 30%. Women has increased by 27. Yeah, I actually think the number's higher than 30. The last thing I saw was much higher than that. Again, studies quibble, right? There's a reason for that. What that reason is, they're speculating. Diet is my number one. Our diet right now is crap across the board. It is so bad. If you go back to the food pyramid, you're going to get into my nutrition now. The food pyramid that came out in the early 70s, those of you who are old enough to remember it, was wrong. And I'm just going to leave it at that. There's a whole other, we could do a whole show on that. I should do a podcast on it at some point. Because, yeah, there's a reason, and it is not good. Rocky Broad, nice name. Watched a friend's marriage disintegrate years ago and was stepdaughter that had done it. Yeah, and again, somebody mentioned to me after I sent my video out, I think adult stepchildren are better, or should I wait until the children are older to date the mother? I actually think the adult can be worse than the younger ones, to be honest with you. Just my opinion. I just think in general, you just got to be aware of the risks. I'm not saying don't do it. I never said that, never will. Just be aware of it, okay? The reality is, ballpark, roughly 2/3 of second marriages or marriages to a single mother end up failing. Barry, Mother Nature's Son, The Beatles. Again, another top-notch choice. And I'm going to share my favorites in just a little bit. Yes, I'm holding on to make you all stay and listen. Quantum, I started TRT at 53. Should have done it years ago. See, I'm with you, my friend. You can buy it over the counter. What country are you again? I might be moving. I love the conversation on the TRT. Really? 1cc ampule of is legal to buy over the counter. Wow. Where is that? I might be moving. I didn't feel my best quantum until it got up to 920. Again, it's subjective, right? Everybody's a little different. We're human beings. We're not robots. Again, general rule of thumb. Somebody mentioned 600 before. I say 7. But yeah, 900 might be what it is. Everybody's different. That's a very good point that we all do. No name, but a nice smiley. Can we talk about how girls use the Me Too to men? Well, we can. What would you like to talk about? I have a video coming out. I have it half done. Trevor Bauer. I don't know if you guys saw it. I'm not going to talk about it too much here. But he was accused of things from 2 years ago. Completely proven to be false. He did a video yesterday, I think it was. I saw it on TikTok. I think it's come out on various things. Go look for that. He got thrown out of Major League Baseball on the accusation. Kind of like what happened to Russell Brand. Again, I'm not saying that Russell Brand is innocent or guilty. We don't know yet. But he's losing income based on the accusation. We saw it with the punter, his name's escaping me, from the Bills, who got cut last year on an accusation. Proven beyond any doubt. He wasn't even there when she claimed it happened. He wasn't there at the location. Lost his job in the NFL, literally millions of dollars, right? Bauer, millions of dollars gone. Russell Brand, who knows? And he may be guilty, and if he is, I'm going to slam him for it. But until he's proven to be guilty, he's innocent in my book, and nothing should happen. Somebody's thrown out recently Kevin Spacey. I'm no fan of Kevin Spacey, but he was exonerated, right? People should not be losing a presumption of guilt. Enough said on that, because I want to kind of keep this up. Watch the videos, though, when it comes out. Go check out the videos I did a couple weeks ago on the Russell Brand situation. Again, I'm not defending Brand. I'm defending, can we please have presumption of innocence until proven guilty? Everything was better in the 80s. Well, yes, it was. Mickey, I wish I had a father like you. Oh, thank you for that. That makes me feel good. You're in Serbia. Okay. Wow. I have to pause for a minute on that. Thank you. Barry, I hope I see you more often. Barry, my friend, I'm here every Wednesday, 4 to 5:30 live. I mean, it's rare I miss one. Occasionally I will, and I'll let you guys know ahead of time. But I'm here, and like I said, sometimes I do talks about specific topics. Sometimes it's like today, open, It's one of my ways of trying to give back, right? And it's why I appreciate you guys watching me. I didn't know Instagram only had an hour. I was having a ball with them, too. YouTube's been quiet. Rocco jumped on way at the beginning. I haven't seen anything since then, unless they're not feeding them to me. Usually I have more on YouTube than it, but it's why I do what I do, right? It's I'm trying to help guys, and really, honestly, to help girls too, to see that guys aren't so bad. There was somebody over on Twitter. I'm gonna call it Twitter. I know it's X, but I call it Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, you are missing out on a whole bunch of stuff, okay? Because I can say things there that I can't say anywhere else. I would get banned in a day on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube if I ever shared what I share on Twitter, okay? You need to go follow me over there. But one of the things that I commented on today, a young woman had mentioned how when she went to college and all that, she was taught basically to hate men. I'm paraphrasing what she says. And she kind of woke up and realized that what she was being told isn't true. And that is one of the other reasons I do what I do, is to reach out to these younger girls and go, I know what you're being told. It's not true. Not all, there are some bad guys. There are some bad women, okay? Violent guys are less than 0.2% of the population, yet every guy is stigmatized from it. That's what I'm talking about, right? There's a lot more good, way more good, men and women, than there are bad. Just trying to catch up a little bit here because I'm a little behind. Muetti, can we talk about men who are cheated and still forgive? Implicates cheated on, I'm assuming you meant. So if somebody cheats on you, can you forgive that? Okay, let's have a brief conversation on it. I got about 10 minutes. Good topic, though. You know what? Maybe I should do a video on it, too. You put it in my brain. I'll think about it. But let's kind of answer what you're talking about. So, again, this goes back to what someone said way earlier, which is trust issues, right? If your significant other cheats with someone else on you, to me, it's a deal breaker. There's no going back. That's me. Trust will be gone forever. And if you can't trust someone, you can't be with them. That's just me. Okay. I'm not saying I'm 100% correct with that. There are people, and I have had friends who've had their wives. I've had friends who've had their husbands cheat, and they ultimately forgave them and went on to have really good marriages. I've seen it where they tried to forgive and just couldn't get past it. It is unique to the situation. Speaking for myself, no go. I'm done. All right. Like then and there, I'm done. The implications are basically for me, trust is gone forever. But for others, you can regain the trust. Again, that's why I say it. If you're dealing with that type of situation, my 2 cents would be you need to go see a therapist or someone neutral, priest, minister, friend even, who can have an honest conversation with both of you together, because you've got to deal with it. The one mistake I've seen people make is, I'll forgive her or I'll forgive him. We're just going to move past it. You never move past it. I haven't seen anyone who's moved past it without dealing with it. You got to confront it head on. So just my 2 cents. So that's that. All right. Whoop. What happened here? I hit something. I don't know what I did. So hopefully that answers you. I may do a video on that because that's a good topic. Trippy, hey girl. Barry, great. I need this. Yeah, jump on every week, Barry. Rocky Broad, just my opinion. I believe the powers that be going after Brand for speaking out. I'm not disagreeing with that. I do think that there's something going on with that. I'll be honest with you. I also think that there's a chance these complaints could be legitimate. I'm trying to remain as neutral as I possibly can on this, because to your point, you may be right or you may be completely wrong. We don't know, right? It's conjecture at this point. Whether he's guilty or innocent, we don't know. Why they're doing it, we don't know. I don't disagree with you. I do think there's something to that. All I'm saying, and all I have been saying, and all I am going to say is this. Please, can we have a presumption of innocence? Hello? In a free society? Because without that, your society's no longer free. That's my point. And I throw people out like Bauer just came out yesterday. Kevin Spacey, who, again, I am no fan of, completely exonerated. There's a whole list of them, right? Johnny Depp is another one. They never get their lives back. Not to mention, those are celebrities. How about the hundreds of guys I've talked to who have faced false allegations, been exonerated, and their lives are destroyed? Go check out some of my podcasts from last spring. I had a couple guys on. Angel, have you ever come across former extreme feminist turns men's rights advocates? Yes, and one would be, I don't know if you call her extreme, but Reclaiming Your Voice too. Michelle she calls herself an ex-feminist. I don't know that I would call her extreme. I would defer to her on that. Okay. Trippy said, yeah, same thing, right? I had a podcast with Michelle Marchis, somewhere in there. It says Confessions of a Former Feminist. Go watch that podcast. And I'm not saying to plug the podcast, but hey, help me out. But Michelle talks about her journey with that. I have run across many former feminists. Let me pull the book out again. See this book? The Boy Crisis. See that name right there? Warren Farrell. Warren Farrell is a feminist. Well, I think he still is. He was on the board of NOW, National Organization of Women, in the 70s. He's no longer. Warren is one of my heroes. He might have been, he was considered the male feminist. That was his title back in the 70s. Went everywhere. He was known worldwide for being a feminist. Great man. Just honestly a great man. I consider him a hero. I am a hero of it, or you know what I mean. I don't know if I'd call him extreme, but I wouldn't even call him a men's right activist. He is an equality activist, but the feminists now consider him a far right-wing men's activist or advocate. He's nothing like that. He fights for men and boys. He brings up, kind of like I do, it's where I get a lot of my stuff is playing off of him, is can we talk about men's issues? Can we talk about boys' issues? Doesn't mean we hate women. I have about 4 minutes, so I'm just going to quickly scroll through. Guys, I really appreciate you guys watching today and putting up with me doing the Instagram. I didn't know it was only an hour over there. I'll have to keep that in mind. Shadowclaw, I just discovered Peter Wright's ingenious study, Gynocentrism is a narcissistic pathology. I have not read that study. I'm going to have to go check that one out. I will have to do that. Matthew, I'm not saying Brand did or didn't do it. We have no evidence. Exactly. We don't know the evidence yet. Thank you. Bryce, love your videos. Cheers from Florida. Johnny Depp is king. Again, you know what's funny about these celebrities? I'm not a fan of Johnny Depp. As far as Pirates of the Caribbean, Edward Scissorhands, blah to me. But presumed innocent, please. All right. I've had a friend ask me to attend court after being charged for battery. He swears he's innocent. You need to go be with him. If you can do it, go and watch what happens. Just saying. You will be shocked at what happens in the courtrooms. You have no idea. It is not what you think on TV. All right, let's see. Good mate of mine was falsely accused, ruins lives. Yep. All right, so I have about 3 minutes. Couple housekeeping items. One, because I just had it in my hand. If you want to get my merch, you are, by the way, supporting me if you buy it, and you're also supporting. I donate a portion of the proceeds from that. My proceeds go towards helping male domestic violence systems. I support one of the shelters, Taylor House. In fact, I'm going to be cutting them a check very shortly for the last couple of months. So you can go get the merch. There's shirts. There are these. There's coffee mugs. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, there's a hat and mustache. Thank you for that. I love that. Thank you, Viking Brew. Also, again, if you want to support me, ways to do it. If you go into my bio, if you're on TikTok and on YouTube and on Instagram, although they're gone right now, within my bio, there's ways to support me. You can join the Patreon group. It's called the Brotherhood of Men. All right. That Patreon group, we do a lot in there, right? I have a monthly meeting on Zoom. We get together. Sometimes it's, very, very small group. I've had times where it's me and one other person. I'm okay with that. Other times there's been more, but we talk about whatever it is you guys want to talk about. Might be what you're dealing with in family court. It might be a false allegation and trying to help each other out. It's there to be a group of men, a brotherhood, where we are there for each other, all right? So, you can join. There's 2 different levels for that. So, yeah, any support is appreciated. Like I said, I'm trying to do much more. I want to get some lobbying efforts going. I'm in North Carolina. I live about 2.5 hours from Raleigh. I would love to go up to Raleigh a couple times a month and try and get shared parenting in North Carolina. Time and money, guys, right? We do need support. If you don't want to support me, that's fine. No hard feelings at all. But if you are looking for help, if you want to support men and boys issues, and you don't want to support me, that's fine. Support somebody else. Go support Michelle because I know she needs help. That kind of stuff, right? It does matter to us, and we do appreciate it. Let me see what else I've got. Oh, thank you, Love and Life. Just subscribed. I appreciate that. Thank you. Shout out to you for doing that. One other thing, couple other things real quick. So, as I said, I'm live here every Wednesday, 4 to 5:30 Eastern U.S., because I got people from all over the world. And again, it's just like it is now. So jump in, come join us every week. The podcast goes up every Sunday at 11 Eastern. I have some big ones coming out, including a big fish, which will come out shortly. I have to edit it still. I had this week on a gentleman from False Allegations, Sean Parker from False Allegations Watch, talking about, he monitors the media and talked about false allegations, right? We actually recorded that before the Russell Brand thing happened, but everything we said in there is what we're seeing, right? I had Michael Holmes was on earlier. We talked about his book. I've had authors on talking about men's issues, boys' issues. A lot of good stuff in that podcast. The podcast is designed to raise awareness. You can help me out by going and watching it, liking it, sharing it. That's how you support me. All right. All right. One final thing. I haven't given you my songs yet. So I want to close with that. My favorite song to both play and listen to, Kashmir by Led Zeppelin. In fact, that guitar is tuned for it right now. Dadgad. Love that song. Love playing it. I've played it in a couple of bands. I just love it. All right. My second would be, well, I would say anything by the Beatles, but it's something. Something by the Beatles. Get it? Something. The song Something, not Something by the Beatles, right? I love the solo in that. George Harrison, masterful solo with that. Love that song. So that's my 1 and 1A. Song I hate the most, because I haven't shared it yet. Let's see who's old enough to know. And if you haven't heard it, go listen to it. Ready? Feelings. Whoa, 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 Feelings. Freddie something or other. I cannot, I'm shaking, just, hate that song. Go over on Spotify or wherever. Look for Feelings, Freddie, whatever his name was. I want to vomit every time. I haven't heard the song in a while. I have it blocked everywhere. But I hate that song. But yeah, so there's mine. I appreciate all. Yeah, well, that's old because I'm old, Jack. Both of those songs are from the 70s. And I actually like light rock. Like things like Baker Street, Jerry Rafferty. I actually don't mind Air Supply that much. I have fond memories of Air Supply because I took a wonderful girl to an Air Supply concert. Just leave it at that. But yeah, that's those are mine. Again, Kashmir is probably hands down my favorite. Both to play. If I'm having a crappy day, I grab that Les Paul behind me and just crank it up and go. Bryce and Bryce, what's going on? I actually did that in a band. I actually like that one. All right, guys, I do have to wrap up because I have another appointment coming up. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you for all the gifts. Loving Life, thank you for subscribing. All of you, I appreciate you. I appreciate all the kind words that you send me, that you give me. I know a lot of you DM me. I do my best, but I'm literally tens of thousands of DMs behind. If there's something you need me for, like if you want me to do a speaking engagement or you want to reach out to me about something, your best way to reach me is email. menneedtobeheard@gmail.com. That is one I try and stay up as best I can on. I'm fortunate right now. I'm only about a day behind because I was able to clear it all out yesterday. People want to reach out to me about something specific. If you want to DM me, people will DM me like videos to do give and takes on. Don't email them to me, please, because that would just overwhelm it. But that's where all the videos I do the give and takes on come from DMs. And I appreciate that. But if you need me for something, like people want me to do speaking engagements, that kind of stuff, you need to email me because that's the one thing you can keep up with me on. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next week on Men Need to Be Heard.